Hello, and thank you for joining me for my reading for the sun's entry into Virgo. I'm Christie with Reaching Better Alternatives, and I'll be offering you a tarot reading for the sun's entry into Virgo. We'll be looking at the overall energy for this astrological month, as well as the energy around our love, money, work, health, and spirit. And I'll be including the use of oracle cards in addition to tarot cards to gain some deeper insight and meaning into the energies that are coming up for us. As of the recording of this reading, I am coming in a day after the sun's official entry into Virgo, but as they say, better late than never. So, to kick things off, we have the Ace of Swords for the sun's entry into Virgo. I am using the This Might Hurt tarot deck. It's a new deck that I just got, and there's an extra card in this deck from the author, and it actually showed up in this reading. So I'm really excited to see how this kind of influences everything. So to start, for the overall energy of Virgo, Virgo is the mutable earth energy. It is the final sign of summer. It's the final month of summer. And the mutable earth energy, when we think about the end of summer, is our harvest season. We are working to harvest all of the fruits of our labors. That mutable energy, we are seeing what's available to us. What's maybe no longer available to us. We have to be flexible or mutable with what it is that we're harvesting. Not every harvest is going to be 100% harvestable, risk of being redundant, right? We have to be mindful to pick and choose what it is we are choosing to harvest and how we are going to use it. Are we going to, just as an analogy, are we going to eat the food fresh? Or are we going to prepare it in some way to preserve it for the winter months, whether it's canning or jarring or storing the food or creating soups to be frozen? So we're kind of looking at the fruits of our labors from the summer, and what are we going to make with it? How are we going to plan our survival through the course of the winter? So Virgo is originally ruled over by Mercury, which is the planet of communication and planning, being methodical, right? Virgo is about our day to day habits and how are we going to prepare so we can take care of ourselves over the coming winter months, right? So we have, for the overall energy, the Ace of Swords. Swords energy is about communication and planning. So this is in alignment with the energy of Mercury. Mercury is retrograde for the next week. It's still in Leo, and it'll be turning direct on the 28th, and it'll take about a week for it to exit Leo to enter into its home sign of Virgo. So with the Ace of Swords energy, we have this ability to kind of think about everything that we've created and start this planning process, setting us up for the final quarter of our Gregorian calendar year, thinking about what it is that we're going to do to set us up for success through the winter months. Start to create visions, right? Long-term and short-term goals. The Ace of Swords energy is really thinking about what new opportunities await for me? How can we plan and create energy for success around these plans? So the Oracle card I'm going to choose is from the Caroline Mace deck, the archetype decks. The way the archetypes work is we will experience any number of these archetypes through our life experience. We'll be exposed to these archetypes through other people, through our life experience. So 3 of these popped out. Let's see what's coming up. Interesting. We have the monk and the nun, the slave, and the destroyer. The destroyer is releasing what is potentially destructive and preparing for new life. So thinking about the harvest, what it is that we can use and what it is that we can't use. This Mercury retrograde period is really calling upon us to reflect upon plans that are no longer working. So what is it that we have to let go of to make room for more new opportunities? I just saw a really lovely meme on the socials, and it was two rows of water jugs. The top row was one fill water jug, and the bottom row was the water jugs with just a little bit water. And it said you can do one thing well, but you can't do everything well. Right? It was a really great analogy. So I feel like the destroyer is reminding us we can let go of some things that are not serving our end goal. It can feel a little painful to say goodbye to some things. Coming to mind some projects I'm working on and coming to the realization I can't do it all, and being able to let that go. The slave is surrendering your power of choice to the divine with a complete trust. But the shadow attribute, and this came out reversed, so the shadow attribute is going to be a little more um, prominent, giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making your own choices. Right. So maybe that's that destroyer energy, is we're willing to give our willpower over out of fear of making our own choices. So how can we take back our power, let go of the fear around making our own decisions, and take accountability for how we're showing up in life, setting the stage for something new, right? That Ace of Swords energy. And then we have the monk or nun energy, selfless devotion and single-minded dedication to spirit. The shadow attribute is the negative judgment of the physical world or excess piety, right? So we can kind of, and I think this is interesting because when I think of a monk or a nun, I think of someone who's willing to kind of give up their power to God for the sake of God, right? To spirit. And the shadow attribute of the slave is giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear. So are you giving yourself, are you releasing your control out of service or devotion to a higher power? But are you doing it from a place of fear versus for empowerment, right? To create something meaningful out of life? Are you choosing to release your own sovereign power out of fear? And the Virgo energy is about being of service, right? Creating the harvest, preparing, being of service. Um, the modern ruler of Virgo is Chiron, which is an asteroid body that highlights our wounding, right? It's called the wounded healer. And sometimes Virgos can very easily play the victim. So I feel as though this destroyer is reminding us to let go of that victim role, let go of the fear, and reclaim our power of making decisions for ourselves so that we can be of service to others from a place of meaningful service, and not of like this is the only option that I have, right? Out of desperation or scarcity mindset, trusting that there is opportunity for healing and bounty, if we know how to look for it and to work with those energies in a healthy manner, right? Um, which is really important because our next card for love, and when I think of this, I don't think of just romantic love, it's all relationships. It could be friendships, um, family relationships, but there's going to be a lot of shifting changes in our relationships. We have the Tower. There we go. Then Tower signifies dramatic change that we might be really resistant to, but whether or not we are open to it, it's going to happen. And so the Tower reminds us that if we can surrender to this change and understand that there's a time and a place for these cycles to happen, we can meet this change with a little more grace, right? And the oracle card that I pulled for this was the Moonology messages, reminding us to be patient, that there are cycles to happen, right? Every month we have a new and a full moon. Every year we go through all 4 seasons, where we have brighter, longer days and shorter, darker days. We have seasons for rain and snow and for heat. There is a cycle for all things in life. And if we can have the patience to be in the cycles, right? My mother always used to say, don't wish your life away, right? Be present in the moment. That long day at work, What can you learn from that long day at work? Because if you start to wish for that day to go by fast, every day is going to go by faster. And before you know it, your life has passed you by. Right. So, can we understand that there's a time and a place and a cycle for all things and accept the changes that come as a result of these cycles beginning and ending? And how can we meet them with grace so that we are not victimized by these cycles, but instead are empowered, right? That energy of empowering ourselves to release our fear and make empowered choices so we can be of service for others in a way that honors our healthy boundaries. Okay. So next we have the money card, and the Nine of Wands is reversed here. Nine of Wands is really the energy of being overworked and overburdened. So there could be this feeling around our money that like there's been so much work that we've been doing, but we're not really seeing the results. There's really a lot of frustration around this. Money's just not coming in. Everything that we've done up until this point just does not seem to bring fruition. There's a lot of overwhelm and upset as a result of this. And again, can we take accountability for everything that we've been doing? The tower energy is reminding us that there are things happening that are out of our control, and to be able to surrender some of that control. So there's an interesting duality here, right? Taking accountability for our decisions, but at the same time surrendering to things that are out of our control. Um, the what is it? The Alcoholics Anonymous prayer. It's actually a Bible verse, but it's, you know, accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference, right? There's that duality that I think is coming through between these cards so far, as that there's a time and a place for us to take action and make things happen and to take accountability for what we've done up until this point. And there's a time and a place where there's just some things we can't control. So how can we gracefully surrender to these cycles, to make and allow opportunity to grow out of those cycles from the things that we can't control? Maybe there's something brewing there waiting for us that if we can just let go, the next best thing will come in its place. So for this, I'm using the Healing Waters Oracle. Ah, the pink dolphin, celebration, fun, unbridled joy, and open heart. How can we bring a little more fun into all the things that we are doing? From that place of celebrating all that we already have, it opens the pathway and the doorway for more to come in. When we are living in a place of lack, we create more lack. And this is about a mindset shift. Can we instead focus on everything that we do have? And in this day and age, we have so much abundance around us. Even if we're missing something, we have, probably most of us, more than we know what to do with. We just aren't seeing it that way. We're so focused on the lack. So if when instead we can bring a little joy and a little gratitude into our life for all that we already have, more will come in, and this burden of everything that we've been doing so far won't feel like such a burden. When we can bring joy to our lives, work no longer feels like work. Which brings me to the next card, the card for work and career, and um, how we are of service to the world. The name of this deck is This Might Hurt, and the card that the author created um, talks about the cycle of hurt versus healing. There we go. The joys of blurring your background on Zoom. Right. And so you can see at the top of the card, there's the wolf is happy and in harmony with the girl. And at the bottom of the card, the wolf and the girl are fighting and they are in pain. And so this card came out with the wolf and the girl at the top of the card fighting and in pain. So I'm going to read the message from the author about this card. The wolf represents the external world. Risk is inherent in a well-lived life. There will be vibrant joy, crushing pain, and multitudes in between. All experiences that are meaningful, that are truly joyful, can also bring you the most pain. In the downward position, with the girl and the wolf fighting at the top, it suggests a time of great difficulty. The external world has bitten you. Times are hard, and you are reacting to that hardship. In order to return to equilibrium, acceptance is key. If you fight what has happened to you, blame yourself, or refuse to recognize what is going on, you will add to your own suffering. Accept what has happened, and you can become a stronger person on the other side, able to form meaningful with those who have had similar experiences. Right. So again, that tower, and I find this really poignant that the tower came out and now this card is showing up, right? Are we really fighting against these changes? Right? The destroyer is an archetypal energy of the tower. Or can we accept that things are coming to an end? The cycle is meeting its an end. How can we accept this gracefully? Again, that like the dichotomy of that there's a name for the prayer. I don't remember what it's called. Um, but when the key is upright, the girl and the wolf are at peace at the top, suggesting a time of healing. Humans are social animals that evolved to thrive in community connection is the key to our survival and our highest goal, and is connection with others in the world around you that will facilitate growth. Take care of your people, love your world, and you will be taking care of and loving yourself as well. Right. So there is a cycle to this. There's a time and a place. It's going to hurt or it's going to heal. Right now we're kind of in this place of hurt, right? How the work that we are doing might be overwhelming us. Again, that Nine of Wands. What can we learn from this cycle so that we can move forward into the cycle of healing in a informed and powerful way to actually feel like the pain had a purpose other than just to be painful, right? Pain can be our greatest teacher. It doesn't mean that we need to seek it out, but sometimes it's just inevitable. It's unavoidable, right? And so the way to make meaning from that pain is to learn from it and use that to facilitate healing and growth. So there's really powerful energy. This full moon that just happened this last week really highlighted a lot of other energies. There was a Venus Saturn opposition. Venus is the planet of relationship, and Saturn is the planet of restriction and like pruning the branches of the tree so the tree can grow stronger. And Mars and Chiron are coming in, creating tense aspects as well. And the full moon is really amplifying all of this energy. So this past week leading up to the sun's entry into Virgo, we've been really called to bring awareness to where our relationships are out of alignment, where we can grow in our relationships, or maybe where we need to pull back in our relationships. And if we're unwilling to face that, it can be really painful. But if we can be open to the cycles of change and accept things are coming to an end, and learn to heal from that painful ending, we can come back stronger and more empowered as a result. I'm not saying it's easy, but it can be done with ease when we allow ourselves to surrender to the flow a little bit and being able to know the difference between when it's out of our control and when it is in our control. And so the Oracle card I'm going to be using for this is the Astro Codes, Star Codes Astro. And it's going to this highlights the different areas of astrology. What maybe were the most change we might be feeling as a result that facilitates this growth. So Pluto, the energy of rebirth, right? Pluto is the planet of transformation and rebirth. I think of Pluto energy is when the caterpillar goes into its cocoon to become a butterfly. The Pluto, the scorpionic energy is that rebirth, right? The the cap and if we think of like the year-long cycle, right? Scorpio is like that death energy to be reborn again. Like the leaves fall from the trees around this time. But on a smaller scale, we can think of the caterpillar becoming the butterfly. The caterpillar kind of has to collapse in on itself, and then it re-emerges. So from this cycle, there's an opportunity for rebirth. How can we learn from this period of this caterpillar, mushy energy, so that we can emerge from our chrysalises a newer, better, more evolved version of ourselves? Right? Every time we learn and grow, we come out stronger, and then more challenges will come to meet us. But we know and rely on the fact that we the challenges only come for us when we are strong enough to meet them, right? The challenges we're facing now would not have come 3 changes ago because we weren't ready for them. So when we face stronger challenges, it means we are stronger, and remembering to have the to be grateful for that, right? To bring gratitude, even times of struggle. Again, that's easier said than done. But if we can bring this practice into our lives, it makes it so much easier to be able to meet these challenges head on, right? And so for health, we have the Eight of Pentacles reversed. And the Eight of Pentacles is about taking the time to perfect our craft, but it's reversed. So let's talk more about the meaning of the card, and we'll see how the reversed meaning is correlating. When it comes to our health, there could be like a long-term goal that you've been working on. Um, but maybe you're feeling a little frustration. You're not getting the results you were hoping you would receive at this point in time. Um, Again, if we go back to the cycles of the moon, um, maybe you're out of alignment with your body's natural rhythms. And so all this work you're doing feels like it's not bringing anything, you're not receiving any results. But by coming into alignment with your body's natural rhythms and cycles, you'll be better able to facilitate the changes that you are working to create. Pentacles energy is physical, tangible energy, right? So this definitely is in alignment with our body. And Virgo is all about self-care and routine and taking care of ourselves. Right. So we're really reflecting, especially this Mercury retrograde, what it is that you've been doing, what's working, what's not working, and how can you kind of tweak what it is that you have been doing to come into alignment with more natural rhythms. Right. Over the summer, we eat fresh fruit. Over the winter or the fall, we start to get more into like, squashes and rices and oats and things like that. We start to make warmer meals. In the practice of Ayurvedic tradition, it's important to kind of eat with those natural cycles. And in our modern world with greenhouses, it's so easy to eat anything at any time of year. So maybe tuning into what's actually native and natural to your region to this time of year, and adapting your diet to kind of correlate with those natural rhythms will help you to kind of get the results that you're looking for, whether it's, you know, bypassing autoimmune issues or trying to lose weight, right? Even our exercise schedule can be adjusted based on the seasons, right? Learning what your Ayurvedic oh crap, what's it called? Uh, uh Constitution. There's a term for this in Ayurveda, but the English word is constitution. Coming into acceptance and alignment with your natural constitution, right? Some people can actually eat a higher diet, a high fat diet, and be totally fine, and some people cannot, right? So maybe creating some acceptance around that, um, thinking about what it is that you've been doing, and finding like a dietitian or a health coach to help you figure out what your body's natural rhythms are and to come into alignment in that way. It doesn't have to be Ayurveda, there's other health systems. Every dietary system can be proven because different things affect different people differently. And when you can know your own body's constitution, you can figure out what's going to affect you in a better way, and tuning back into those natural rhythms. And so what can help facilitate this growth? Oh, interesting. We have Chesed, which is basically Jupiter energy. This is from the Tree of Life Oracle based on the Jewish Kabbalah. I really love these cards. Mercy, abundance, gratitude, and big ideas. This is a really beautiful card. Let's see how close I can get it. Yes. You can see the image. You can see the symbol of Jupiter at the top. We have the god of thunder, and there is a horse over here as well. Oh, it's actually a unicorn, and then there's an eagle above that. So let's read this message. Chesed is where you meet the lords of peace, and they balance the lords of karma from Gebura. You're being asked to find peace after a conflict or to prevent one. Jupiter is the planet of abundance and wisdom. The features of this card: the main figure is a king, wise, benevolent, and loving. On his throne, he dispenses wisdom and gifts to those who seek his counsel and can use it wisely. So again, finding someone, a coach of some kind, or some kind of expert to help guide you on your path to becoming into alignment with your natural body rhythms. Support from family, friends, or the universe is something we could all use now and again. This card suggests you've forgotten to ask for it. Ask now and listen for the signs that will guide you. That's really beautiful. This is a time to go big, not to take unnecessary risks, but to realize the goal you've been waiting for. It's a moment to bring an abundance practice into play, to develop a positive outlook, the pink dolphin, that will be returned to in magical ways. A spiritual master could appear to assist you. What a great compliment. Activation. The universe is always communicating with you, offering opportunities through wiser courses of action. Where could a simple act of kindness or forgiveness change the course of your life or your day? Keep a gratitude journal, or simply be thankful for all the blessings around you as you go to sleep at night. I think this is a really beautiful reminder that our mindset has a huge impact on our physical health as well, right? In the Eight of Pentacles reverse, there feels like frustration. How can you shift that frustration into gratitude? Again, I was saying being aware of everything that you do have. That gratitude allows more abundance to flow in. And when we can step into that place of gratitude, it lowers our stress and our cortisol levels, which actually inhibits burning fat, right? So if we can lower our cortisol levels and shift our mindset, we become much healthier as well. And as a result, the card for spirit is the 10 of Pentacles. This is the card of generational wealth. This is the card of satisfaction with everything that you've created in your life, being able to recognize all that you have created in your life, right? So there's a lot of shifting energy, right? That mutable earth energy. There's a lot of new ideas coming in, a lot of big changes happening that are really going to challenge us. But if we can maintain a positive outlook and a positive mindset, we can come out the other side of this with more healing than hurt, right? We have to kind of go through the pain in order to create the healing first. But if we can go through these challenges with a positive outlook, we will come out the other side stronger, more resilient, and with more blessings than we realized as we move into the fall season, the season of contraction, right? Where we start to prepare for the winter. And as we move into the equinox, right, where we get to honor the the um the the cycles of light and day, right? The equinox is equal day and equal night, the whole planet, right? How can we honor how we bring ourselves back into balance? And a big part, it's funny because I was saying that with our health, right? Figuring out how to come back into balance. The equinox is a really great time for reflecting on that. So this whole month, really thinking about how we can come back into balance with our natural rhythms. I offer new and full moon readings to help people start to come into alignment with the natural rhythms of our planet based on the cycles of the moon. You can find more information about that on my website. The link to do so is in the description. If this reading is resonating with you, please click the like button and remember to subscribe to my channel so you can receive updates for my readings. Right now, I'm only offering readings for the sun's entry into each new sign. I would really love to hear from you. What other types of readings would you like to hear about? At like planetary aspects that are happening, like the new and the full moon specifically, just regular aspects that are happening as they come up, big issues, guidance around how different aspects of life. What comes up for you? What would you like to hear me talk about? I also have my Conversations with Christie podcast. It's been a little neglected, but tell me what you want to hear about, and I can take some of those ideas from readings and turn them into episodes to create some guidance and teach you how to come back into the natural rhythms of life. I feel that once we can tune back to our natural rhythms as humans in coherence with the natural rhythms of the planet and the moon and the stars, we are able to meet life's challenges with so much ease and grace. Oh, those cards came flying out, but that's too many cards. Um, so our final message for today, there is so much more to you than you think. We've been so disconnected from our natural rhythms, and we rely on false forms of dopamine hits to feel good. Where if we can come back into our natural rhythms, we don't need to Netflix, binge watch Netflix all day to feel good. We can start to understand how to work with our natural energies, when it's okay to sleep more or work more or less, right? Honoring your body's natural rhythm. Um, there's so much more to you than you think. And by tuning into these natural rhythms, it allows you to tap into to everything that you're capable of, right? When we're growing up, we're told that you could be anything that you want to be, and somewhere along the way we kind of forget that. Um, and just coming into alignment with ourselves allows us to be anything that we want to be. We are here to create. Some people believe they were born to be one thing or another, but others get a sense that there is more to them than just one aspect. Your mind and body are reaching out for new things and exciting experiences now. Guardian spirits are reminding you that you have many undiscovered gifts, and now would be a good time to allow them to come forward. It is a sin not to share a precious gift with the world. Remember, there is no such thing as coincidence. The signs that keep turning up in your life are all saying the same thing. It's in you, so go for it, right? And when you can tune into your natural rhythms, give yourself this time and space and grace to explore your natural gifts and figure out how to bring them to the world. Again, it's not an easy journey, but it can be done with ease once we start tuning into these rhythms. So if you are here, this message is for you. Not everything might resonate. Just take what resonates and leave the rest. Please let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this reading, and I will be back maybe sooner than next month when the sun enters Libra. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a blessed month ahead of you. Namaste, my friends.